When you think of resurrection, do you think of it in the past tense, the present tense, or the future tense? I think in a very real way, resurrection is active in the past, the present, and the future. So today in Faith for Times Like These, we're going to talk about present tense resurrection. This is Pastor Dan. Great to have you with today. There is most certainly a sense in which the resurrection is a past tense activity. On Jesus' cross, in the empty tomb, the first Easter Sunday proclaimed a resurrection once and for all time. Clearly, resurrection is a past tense activity. It is also true that there is a future tense reality, that there is a time where Christ will bring all things back to himself, where every tear will be wiped away, where all brokenness will be healed, where there will be a fullness and a restoration of the kingdom as always envisioned by God. You and I often live with resurrection either in the past tense or the future tense. We are familiar with looking back and giving thanks and gratitude for the resurrection work of Jesus on the cross and in the empty tomb, and the proclamation of the first Easter that he is risen. We are also familiar with the future tense resurrection, when all of humanity will be mended and brought back into communion and community with God and each other. I believe, though, in times like these, we need to also be very aware of a present tense resurrection. You and I experience a daily dying. Sometimes they're small and trivial things where just a little part of our heart breaks, a little part of our hope is injured, where we give in to despair. There are more profound dyings as well. The dyings of our hopes and dreams, the dyings of our loved ones, the tragic losses that happen during our lifetime. Those are significant and profound. And if we don't believe that in those daily dyings there is also a resurrection, we have lost a very life-giving dimension to our faith. And in times like these, you and I need to remember every day that when there is a dying, there is a rising. That when there is a wound, there is a healing. When there is a loss, there is a comfort. Now, for some of those dyings, when the rising happens, we realize we are not just simply restored, but actually better and more whole. There are some losses we suffer that as the rising comes, we know we're going to walk with a limp the rest of our lives. That the best we can hope for on this side of heaven is a chance for a scar to turn beautiful, but it's still a scar, and it still represents a loss. So this daily rising isn't just a sweet hope or a denial of pain, but it is real, that with ever dying there is a rising. And therefore, we need to every day remember that. And fortunately, as Lutheran Christians, we have an insight that it is our baptismal promise that is lived out this daily dying and rising. And it's through the simple act of remembering. Martin Luther used to say, when you wash your face in the morning, remember your baptismal waters. I would say do that and remember there is this daily dying and rising. And let us remember the rising and live into that rising, because the story we tell ourselves is often the story we live into. And when we remember that at the core, our story is of resurrection, and that we can receive that every day, and we can offer it to the world. That's what it means to be resurrection people that are fully grounded in the resurrection of the past and the resurrection of the future and the resurrection of today. That is how we live with a faith for times like these. Thanks for being with today. Have a blessed day, everybody.